fans, Falcon Nation, your dirty fanatics united is coming at you live after a dirty bird dub here. Week 8, your Atlanta Falcons single-handedly take the NFC South here. Week 8, 5-3. Your Atlanta Falcons are flying high again, Falcon fans. You bounce back from the worst performance you've had all season against a Tampa Bay rival in their home stadium, as my Kirko Chain says. Walk in their trap, take over their trap, as the Atlanta Falcons did today. Falcon fans, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. Hit that like button. Episode 102 coming at you live, man. As always, I'm your host, C Money, followed by Kirko Chain. Special guest appearance in the building. Kirko Chains is here. Philip Sapp, a.k.a. Mr. Avis, is in the building. My guy, Robert Mega Biff, is here to talk Falcon football. Falcon fans, leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. Falcon fans, how we feeling? Kirko, take the mic.
Well, first off, thanks for having me, gentlemen, after a big win. I just want to go ahead and say Tampa Bay ain't shit. Baker Mayfield ain't shit. Tampa's defense ain't shit. 4 touchdowns. Would I put up 300 yards again on you boys? No, man. What a game, dude.
And has 8 touchdowns on the same team and one season.
The first Falcon quarterback to have 4 touchdowns on the same team in the same year, man. That's not even something our boy Matty Ice did. So today's performance by your boy Kirko Chains, man, really sealed it. Really,
my cousin, baby, my cousin.
There are a lot of high stress moments, but you know what? All of us in chat, we rode with them to the end. We were there through the end, and here we are, top of the NFC South. We control our destiny. This must-win Week 8. We went out, won something that, the last 2-3 years we wouldn't have gone out and done. We would have lost this game, but here we are sitting with the W.
Absolutely. A nice W to come back off of that worst performance last week in the bins. Take the NFC South single-handedly in the opponent's stadium was just something I was really, really happy about. To see your Falcons 5-3 again for the first time since 2016, guys, it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling, man. And to be 5-3, 5 dubs to your 3 losses, man. It's been a while since Falcon fans could say that. EQRC with it, as always, in the live chat said, it's a win, baby. Rise up, EQ. Glad to have you here today. EQRC said, I can't believe Koo missed that field goal. But we won. Absolutely. Finished the job. No matter how you do it, get the W. And that job was completed today. Jalen Jones in the chat. Shout out my guy, Jalen, another diehard Falcon fan. Rise up, brother. Glad to have you here in the chat. Leave that like, comment, and tag a Falcon friend if you haven't already. Everybody in the chat, there's 6 live viewers right now. If everybody could share to a Falcon friend to get them here in this live recap of your NFC South division leaders, we greatly appreciate it. Philip, what's going on, man? I know you're feeling high and riding that wave off of that dub. See, the bell is here for the live podcast. That means it's a Falcon dub. Philip,
because it was a straight bell to ask. But first, I'll hold on to how I'm feeling. Let's give it to Mr. Robert. Then send me straight to Avis Avenue.
Oh, shit. Philip's feeling himself tonight. Philip is feeling himself today. Mr. Robert, what's going on, man? Your Atlanta Falcons are flying high. Ask Cassie Keeler here says, how about them birds? Mr. Robert, how about them birds, man?
Another nerve-wracking game, but, hey, we pulled it off. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. A tough game against a tough opponent. Although they were injured, we talk about it here on the podcast. It was going to be rough. It was going to be a dogfight, Cody said. Philip said this thing is going to be close. Robert did as well, and it did play out that it would be a close game. Robert also, with the first hot take of the season that rang, Mr. Robert, with the 2 touchdowns to Kyle Pitts. Robert here called it before the game. Shout out to Robert. Glad to have Robert here on the channel. That's why you tune in before the game, because out of all 4 of us, something's bound to happen. And Robert was on money with it. Shout out to Robert. As Philip directed, we're going to go ahead and follow his orders because Philip is feeling himself today. Ladies and gentlemen, your Atlanta Falcons are flying high. So we're headed over to Avis.
My fault.
Hold up, Philip. Keep doing that. Philip. Hold up.
We got to clean. We got a deep clean. Get all that out of there. All right, now you're good. Yeah. All right. But this is Avis Avenue, baby. So what we're going to do, we're going to spit out the facts. We're going to give you everything that happened in today's game, which is what I like to do is cover stats. Okay, first things first, we're going to start with the man himself, Kirk Cousins. Starting off, this is the first ever franchise player in Falcons history to play a team in one season and drop 8 touchdowns on that team in one single season. But besides that, which is a very crazy stat, but besides that, my man threw 23 for 39 for 276 yards and 4 touchdowns on today. No interceptions. He came back from last week's performance and bounced back and showed them why we like that. Okay. And so, yeah, put some respect on Kirko's name and stop chanting for Penix because his time is going to come. I promise you. Okay. Second up, we got the man Bijan Robinson. Had 13 carries for 63 yards and he averaged around 4.8 per play, which is crazy. You know, he had a little day. Second up is gonna be receiver. I'm gonna throw out that man's name, Kyle Pitts. Had 4 receptions on the day, 91 yards, and averaged about 22.8 yards, and had 2 touchdowns on today.
You mean the number 4 draft pick, Kyle Pitts?
The Kyle Pitts, the unicorn,
the Kyle
guy
Pitts
himself.
on a contract year that's went over 50 yards the past 3 weeks in a row. Is that the Kyle Pitts we're talking about?
The Kyle Pitts, the one
Kyle
that
Pitts,
says,
baby.
the guy that everybody says, trade, get rid of. No, this is why you don't. He told you to stop right there. Stop getting out your feelings because he's got something to work for you with. Second up is my boy, Darnell Mooney. The jersey is on the way, being shipped at this moment. He had 5 receptions on today, 92 yards, and averaged around 18.4 yards per play, and had 1 touchdown on the day as well. And then
shout out to Darnell Mooney, fantasy receiver. Shout out to Darnell. And
then obviously, adding to Bijan's too, he had 1, receiving reception touchdown as well. So shout out to them. And that is Avis Avenue, and you best believe we in your city.
Hey, we in your city with it, man. Shout out.
And we bring the boom.
Shout out.
Because I ain't hear no cannon.
Sterling Woods, I ain't heard a cannon all day. Sterling Woods in the chat said it was a team effort in this game. Rise up. Stormy Staff in the chat said, rise up, Falcons. Great win. The Sports Nut is here in the live chat. Head over to the Sports Nut. See that subscribe button. It says, great win. All those who say Bench Cousin can eat crow. Absolutely. EQRC says,
what did I tell you boys, though?
You like that? We
were going to win. It wasn't no prediction. It was a spoiler. I was there for the whole game. I didn't have no doubt in my mind at the end. I'm going to throw in another one. Shout out to Richie. My boy come up with clutch at the end play, slapped it out of bounds, even though he got torched on one play.
He did get up. I'll give him that. Richie did get up to get.
He got up, but we're going to have to work with you a little bit, Richie, okay? But, I'm still riding with you, dog. You my homie.
Hey, and a great, as I say, discipline by our safeties during that particular play, because that's a good way to get a PI call right there. The Bucks get the ball there on the 1 yard line. Then you're in a different situation right now. We're mad as hell on the podcast. But shout out to Richie on that particular play and everybody else there in the end zone that had a part of getting that ball out of there. Dylan said, "Give me my theme music, damn it! Put the music on. Put the music. Philip, hit the soundboard.
I don't have it.
Hit the soundboard. We ain't there yet, man. We ain't in 1,000 subscribers yet. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll have the soundboard for you guys. Falcon fans, we're talking Falcon football. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Cody, starting with you, man. Player of the game and why? Give me one player, and then obviously we'll all try to have a different player going around the table. Player of the game.
Player of the game to me is Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk played his ass off. Like Philip said, like I said beforehand, the only Falcon quarterback in Falcon history to throw for 4 touchdowns against the same opponent in the same season with no interceptions. You come off a garbage game against Seattle. You don't let that game beat you. Kirk Cousins doesn't let that game define him, and he comes out and he balls, man. And let's talk about the wheels on key situations. I mean,
that
yes,
was a big play, Cody. That was a big play.
Now, even though Koo misses that field goal, which, man, it's Koo. I still love you, Koo, man. I still love you. It's gonna happen.
I'm on the fence with you, dude, and I praise you before the game.
Yeah,
like I praise you before the game, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude.
Now, so it was a bad miss. It really was, but you know what? Kirk getting things done with his legs, huge. I mean, yeah, okay, so we don't wind up getting the field goal by Cole, but here's the thing, is that takes time off the clock. It takes big time off the clock. Because guess what? If Kirk doesn't make those 2 runs with the sneak and the 13-yard scamper there, Tampa Bay's got the ball. And they've got plenty of time.
This is a big comment here from EQRC. That was a big
that
was not real because the Bucs actually held Ray on that play. As you've seen, Raheem Morris and Ray both tried to – actually, Darnell Mooney both tried to compensate that wasn't a hold, and that took away a touchdown. So
it did. And that was big. But, good teams overcome bad officiating, and that's what we did today. We overcame bad officiating, and we just got the job done, man. And that's what you want to see. Now games like this suck for your heart, and they suck for your anxiety levels, and they suck for your blood pressure. But guess what? When it comes to playoff football, it's games like this. It's I'm going to take a Dan Quinn cliche, and iron sharpens iron, man. And when you get into the playoffs and you're playing against another team and it's rough and it's looking ugly, this team has shown that it will fight, scratch, and claw, and they will beat teams no matter what the situation is. So game ball for me goes to Kirk Go Chains. What was it? 276 yards passing, 4 yards rushing. And but man, it was just a great game by Kirk. Where all the props to Kirk for me.
Cody, I was going to go kind of the Kirk Go Chains route as well, but I'll have to give it, and I'm sure Philip and Cody would be on the same boat here. I have to go Kyle Pitts. The 2 touchdowns that were very big. I mean, it wasn't just wide open passes. It was plays where that second touchdown where we thought it was a fumble there at the goal line, Kyle Pitts catches it in the middle of the field and outruns 3 defenders there to make that touchdown happen. Kyle Pitts came in with a goal.
It's crazy to me.
And made it happen, man. Kyle Pitts playing for that contract year. Everybody's talking about the trade rumors with Kyle Pitts and bringing in a pass rush. But you have a guy that's went for over 50 yards to pass 3 to 4 games here in the NFL. It's hard to do as a tight end, let alone a receiver, but for a tight end to go over 50 yards 3 to 4 games in a row, that's something special. And Kyle Pitts, to me, came with a mission, and he won on that mission. So I have to agree with what Dylan says here in the USA. He says, Kyle Pitts, take them 2 touchdowns away, we lose. So Pitts is the player of the game. I agree. Kyle Pitts was a dog today. Kyle Pitts came in clutch when we needed it, and definitely a huge Kyle Pitts fan. Phil, we'll go to you and then bounce it over to Mr. Robert. Player of the game, if you could choose a different one out of Kyle Pitts or Kirk, or is that just kind of the 2 that you're stuck with?
I got another one. I mean, people say he's been a little off lately. I'm giving it to Bijan. Without some of them blocks that he made.
And them runs. There was a couple of first downs that Bijan made.
Touchdowns that he should have had, but was BS. But it's just the blocks for Kirk that he had that made them throws possible to Pitts. It's just certain things like that I look at. I don't know. I don't know how you come down midair with a ball and then still find a way to juke a guy. I don't know. You're just not human to me. I don't know how you move like that, but just certain things like that. And then I don't know. He just had a day where the first come around, he just couldn't get nothing going. He proved today that he's a hard runner too. Yeah. And I'm going to give a little bit into that for Tyler Algier today too, because they both of them together. They looked good to me. They could say, they didn't have the best run game, but they did what they needed to do to get the ball out, for pass blocking or anything. They did it. They did their job. So I'm giving it to the running backs today.
In the running game that people tend to overlook, there's been big throws this season. Bijan Robinson has stepped up in the hole and
made some crazy blocks
for Kirk Cousins to make that throw. So absolutely, a little bit of a tough day on the ground for Tyler Algier. Obviously, the Buccaneers game plan for the run game.
Obviously,
the Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, it gets kind of not really of a guess when you have Bijan on the sideline and Algier's on the field. You kind of Tyler Algier's running the ball, so that's one disadvantage Tyler Algier has in this lead is when Tyler Algier is on the field, defenses know he's running, and he's still proven that he can still put up over 30 yards on the ground with a game plan that's against him. So a very good dynamic duo there with Bijan and Algier. Still hope that Zach Robinson can still figure out a way to use them a little better. They did both have over 10 touches today, which is a good thing to see.
Yep.
You did lose Chris Lindstrom early into the game, which sucked because you brought in, with Wilkerson being out today.
He stepped up big.
That was the guy that's behind Wilkerson. I'm sorry.
I can't remember his name. And forgive me for that. But you stepped up. So shout out to you from this podcast here. Shout out to you. You stood up. It was next man up mentality.
Dean Harris on the defense, another fill-in on the D-line, trying to get pressure to the quarterback. Made a couple of big plays. But, Robert, before we keep giving away names, can you give me one more player of the game other than the three we named? If not, it's cool. You can name one that we already named.
Well, I will agree with Kirk. He carried the team today. He carried the offense on his shoulders. He stood tall in the pocket, threw 4 touchdowns. But on the defense, I want to give a game ball to a guy that we've been very critical of the last few days.
Come on with it, Robert. Come on with it, baby. A.J. Terrell.
A.J. Terrell, yes, sir.
He had a good day today.
Hit, and then the very next play, intercepts the ball.
Yep.
That's how you respond after getting humiliated.
Yep,
so shout out to A.J.
A nice way to bounce back for A.J. Terrell. Another secondary player. Jesse Bates with the punched fumble, the interception when we needed
that's a good one, too.
In the red zone.
Well, now here's a big one, too, before I forget, because I would say, how about Arnold Ebiketie getting pressure on Baker Mayfield on one of those last throws to make him hurry up and throw that ball and make it off target?
Arnold Ebiketie.
Arnold Ebiketie.
Okay.
At the very last, he got that pressure, made him release that ball early.
It's just to me, man, there's just too much time in the pocket there for Baker Mayfield. Yeah. There's a couple plays where it's just this man can stand around here, do a 360, and still deliver a first down pass. Something's got to change. I know the deadline's approaching. I don't know what you would trade. I'm down with sending draft picks for a good pass rusher, Atlanta. If you're listening to this, Terry Fentano, trade a first-round pick for a dominant pass rusher. I'm cool with it. But don't take any of the chemistry here on the team. Don't take a player that's a top player here for you. Don't trade a player that you've drafted through your regime. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Falcon fans, hit that like button. Leave a comment if you haven't already. Philip, as you stated before the live game, the Atlanta Falcons had the chance today to not only take over the NFC South, but they also had the chance to take over the all-time win lead. And your Atlanta Falcons do that today with a 32-31 lead advantage.
We own everything at the moment. We own the Saints. We own the Bucks. We own our pet cats over there in Carolina. We got it all, man. We just got to hold on to it, man. That's all.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful sighting, man. Makes me want to go to work all week in my jersey.
Dude, your Falcons are 5-3 Falcon fans. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about your Atlanta Falcons flying high at 5-3. They go back to the Benz Sunday. They face a not so flying high Dallas Cowboys. So you hope to come out of that team with a W.
You go again. This team ain't gonna never win.
You go 6-3 on your record if you can take off the Cowboys. Falcons, man. I think it's going to be fun times here in Atlanta, dude. And I think the Falcons, they make a deep push here this postseason. Sports talking here about the Detroit Lions. If the Falcons make it to the second round, obviously Detroit, unless they fall off before the second round, they'll be a really tough team. They will be, but I got faith in my team, man. I got faith in my squad. The Lions also took on a 1-5 team today, so they played the Carolina Panthers brothers, the Titans. So I wasn't too worried about what they did. But Dylan in the comment talking crazy. I ain't even gonna put that on the screen. Cody may shoot his head off. EQRC said, all true sports nuts. Let's just beat Dallas next. Dylan with the trade coup in the comment section.
No, okay.
He said Pam just interviewed Captain Kirk about his run play and wanted to know his 40
trade for him
on that combine. How about Kirk Cousins, man? I can't believe that, dude. That was in a key moment.
About my cousin?
Yes, that was crazy, dude. He was a yard away. If he wouldn't have fell on his knees, it would have been a first down. I think they should have looked at it a little bit. I
thought it was over, but
I agree. I thought he was past the line.
Yeah.
Looking at the replay, though, his knees were down before the ball was actually placed over. So but it is what it is. Like Cody mentioned, he did waste time. So that was a big that was crucial there, and he done it, man. Like, so shout out to Kurt, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
My family member over here, my cousin.
Philip went over the stat lines of players for today's game. I want to go over the team stats because we love stats here at DFU. Jimmy Lake, Raheem Morris don't really care for stats, but DFU loves stats. Falcons went 394 yards total to the Bucks 432. We went 265 passing yards to their 330. Guys, they're without their receivers, and they still passed for 330 yards. Rushing yards, we went 129 to their 102. Yards per play, we went 6.6. They went 6. We had 20 first down to their 24. Another stat line that continuously hurts us every year or every week. 6 and 12 on third downs. They're 9 to 14 on third downs. We're 2 for 2 on fourth downs. We have a nice fourth down efficiency. I will say that. Their efficiency 1 for 2 on fourth downs. We had 60 total plays. They had 72. We allowed 2 sacks. They allowed 0. We got no sacks. We punted 3 times to their 1. 4 penalties for 43 yards to their 6 of 45. Still only 4 penalties, but costly penalties.
Oh, so and that's the thing we got to talk about. Yes, the penalties are down, but it's like I said in the group chat, man. It isn't the fact that we're committing penalties. It is when we are committing penalties, and that has got to be cleaned up. And that's 100% coaching. That's 100% coaching.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. We lost, they don't count it as a stat line for a fumble loss. They call it a safety. We had 1 fumble. They had 1 fumble as well. They've thrown 2 interceptions to our 0. Time of possession, we had 27.26, so they're 32.34. If we look back in that first half, we had 3 minutes to their 16 minutes in the first half. That is atrocious.
Yep.
You cannot start ball games out like this against good teams because it's going to come back to bite you in the rear, as it almost did today. You have to have time of possession. You have to keep the defense off the ball. Defense is on the field way, way too long. You have got to get the defense off the ball, and that means making long extended drives in the run game with whoever that may be. But defense has got to play better. There is nothing around that. We'll start with you, Cody. Your thoughts on the defensive play of the ball today. What went wrong? Where did the Falcons need to improve? Because me personally, Cody, I am not a fan of this 3-4 defense. I totally despise it. I hate it.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the 3-4 either. That's our biggest problem right now, boys. That's going to be our Achilles heel all year, is going to be pressure on the quarterback and getting sacks. I've talked about, we've talked about it on the podcast many, many, many times. It's great. Pressure is great to see. Pressure is awesome to see. You want that stuff, but in the end, you have to get the quarterback on the ground. I 100% agree with you, Chase. When you're sitting there saying that Baker Mayfield had time, the guy could, like you said, he could have done 360. He could have sat there and played cards, whatever. You have got to get the quarterback on the ground. Now, to that point, I don't know what the officials are missing for the last 3 games, but Judon is getting held big time, and it is just being let go. And I don't know. There are several times you see, him held up in here. He's, held, outside and put on the ground. And it's just like at some point that has to be called, because that's killing us. Because there are several times where you're thinking Judon is about to blow this quarterback up. And next thing you know, the tackle has got him, by the shoulder pad and has pulled him down. And it's like, that is holding. You have to call that. Now, that's not an excuse. That there are other guys on this defense that need to step up. Grady, was kind of there today. I was really hoping for the 3-sack day, but, Tom Brady wasn't in the opponent's jersey. We all know that Grady loves sacking Tom Brady.
Says it all.
He loves sacking Tom Brady, but the defensive pass rush has to get better. Now, I will give a shout out to AJ. Clearly, he listens to DFU. I chewed his ass out a couple episodes ago about getting dog walked by DJ Metcalf, and then you're going to go lay the wood on Irving like that, man, and then he's going to pop up and act like he's not intimidated. Bullshit. AJ put you on your ass, made you look like a little boy, and so shout out to AJ Terrell. But the thing is, guys, it is all coming down to we have to start getting sacks. It is going to kill us in the long run. because if, now I'm not going to sit here and act like Baker Mayfield's, not bad or not too great either, but he's a decent quarterback. And if he's getting time to pick us apart the way that he was kind of picking us apart there,
there was plays where in the first half there was plays where if Baker makes a better throw, they have a touchdown.
Absolutely. And the unfortunate thing is when we get into the playoffs, we're gonna have teams that quarterbacks make those plays.
Yep.
When you play against a Jared Goff, a Matt Stafford, or when you play against some of these better quarterback teams, you've got to get them on the ground, and that's going to be a huge thing when you're playing Dallas. Dak is one of those guys that if you don't get him on the ground, he's going to beat you with his legs, and we've got that coming up. So the defense has got to find a way to get the quarterback on the ground. I cannot stress that enough. But, I mean, other than that, man, the turnovers were great. The defense did look physical. I mean, there were several times, even if they weren't getting hands on the ball, they were all punching for it. They were all after it. They came and they were laying wood, man. And so keep up the aggression, but now go finish plays and get sacks because that's what you got to do to be successful.
Shout out to Victor Perez in the chat. The brother-in-law said, Falcons love to give you a damn heart attack, but man, that win feels great. Sweep! The Atlanta Falcons sweep the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Every game Victor's been at my house this year except week 1. We've got the dub. So, Victor, your goal for the rest of the season is be at this house on Sundays at 1 o'clock. Even if I'm at the game in person, you still have to be here at my house. Shout out to
I just made a whole meme while we're sitting here doing this. So,
did you?
Yeah, a whole meme where they have to acknowledge us. So
we will post that as soon as this is over with. Shout out to EQRC says Pitt's highlights on Fox. Mr. Robert, we'll bounce you and then we'll go to Philip with this question. But to me, it seems like with the pass rush, they haven't solidified the pass rush, and they still haven't figured out who that front face is going to be. Because throughout this whole game, you had multiple of D linemen come out there and rotate. You had it was a Dante Harris, Root with the injury. I hope to hear about Root soon. Him and Chris Lindstrom. Chris did come back out. Did not see any more footage of Chris the rest of the day. He stood on the sideline and patted out. But Rook did not see him on the sideline anymore after being helped off the field. Definitely have to look at that. But Robert, your thoughts on this D-line, all this rotation, is it a good thing to have this rotation, or is it where you need to figure out who your front three are going to be so they can get in a rhythm, figure out what they're going up against? Your thoughts on this D-line, the rotation, this 3-4 scheme. Robert, your answer to this defense.
Well, I think the rotation is necessary right now because, quite frankly, I don't think that we've got good enough speed to run an effective 3-4 defense. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. I mean, we don't have that lightning quick guy that can come off the edge in this particular scheme. Of course, Troy Anderson's hurt right now, who I think that we should, when he's actually healthy and playing, I think we should put him out on the edge a little bit more often and see what we can do. But, it's like Cody said earlier, this 3-4, it's just not working, at least not for us. And I think that, we just need more speed. I just don't think we have the right personnel to effectively run this particular defense continuously.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Philip, your thoughts on this defense, man, the rotation, still have yet to find that front four. You see Eddie Goldman in there at plays, makes big moments, and they pull him out, bring Rook in, take Rook out, bring in Taquan Graham. It's like they're trying to find that one that can be a dominant rusher in this 3-4, and they have yet to do that. Philip, your thoughts?
That's crazy, but because it's also a tricky question too. Like, who would you want? Because some days, like some games, Root plays a little bit better than, or has been playing a little bit better than what people like I've seen Eddie Goldman or people like Onyemata. But like in some instances, like today, Onyemata woke up from he woke up out of nowhere today. Same, and then on certain plays we added in Eddie Goldman. We added him back into the mix, dressed out. He stopped the run once he came in every single time up the middle. He stopped it. Didn't go nowhere further than where he was at every single time. I'm not – it's hard to say who do you really want there because I'm just not like you guys said. I'm not really a big fan of this 3-4 that we got going on. I've always always enjoyed a good 4-3 most of the time. And I feel like we got either way we look at it. I feel like we still got the playmakers to do either one. It's just we don't have it all together at the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's not on the same page.
There's growing pains, and you're trying to figure out a new schematic, new scheme. First year defense coordinator,
with
first
injuries
year
and everything else, you're still trying to fit in certain players. That's why I feel like you ain't seen a little bit of Brandon Dolores, which has been also doing good in practice, as Raheem stated, that he's been climbing up just like Rook had. And so you could see him soon in this near future, possibly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, once you get Troy Anderson back and you can take some of the responsibility off of Caden Ellis, man, to be, to really be your true Mike and let Caden do things that Caden does. We talked about it, getting Caden Ellis on the edge, man, because Caden Ellis has got that great speed. He's like, to Robert's point, Caden Ellis does have that speed, and he's got that bend, man, to get in the backfield. And so I think it's really going to help our defense out once Anderson gets back in, where he can take over that true middle linebacker. Because all last year, man, we talked about it, was anytime you saw Troy Anderson, Caden Ellis wasn't far behind, or when you saw Ellis, Anderson wasn't far behind, and we're missing that right now in our defense. And so I feel like once we get Anderson back, you take some of that responsibility off of Caden, it'll improve.
Absolutely. D. Sloan, a diehard Dirty Bird Nest captain. D. Sloan in the chat said, Falcons run the South. Let's go Falcons. Shout out to D. Sloan. The Atlanta Falcons do indeed hold the South. 2 games up on divisional opponents. 4-0 in the NFC South. It's been a while since we could say that, man. Rise up. EQRC says, hate that Root got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hate that Root got hurt. Stats are for losers. F their passing yards. We are for winners. Sweep. Rise up, man. Hit that comment section. Leave a like. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. We're on the road to 1K, and we cannot do it without you guys. Guys, this is your recap show for the Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's been a quick 35-minute show here. Wanted to bring you guys a recap.
Just as quick as it was to beat them 2-0 this year.
2-0 against the Bucs. Now it's time to sweep the Panthers and the Saints. We can do it.
The Saints.
Dylan said Saints score is 3-2 right now. Definitely about to tune into that.
What?
Millie Mills in the chat said, DFU, what's up with it? Playoffs, here we come. Panthers are up. Who are the Panthers playing? Does anybody know?
Denver.
It dead is.
Denver.
It is literally 3-2.
They're playing the Chargers.
Bro. What the heck?
Cody, Phillip, Robert, shout outs for this
They're beating
afternoon,
Denver
brother, as we get ready to head out of here. Yeah, Bryce Young started again. They're trying to trade him. They're trying to trade Bryce.
They're trying to get him. I'll say that's all right. I'll say there's a lot of football left in both of those games. Both of them wind up losing, so I ain't too worried about it. But shout outs, man. I would say shout out to the Atlanta Falcons for, like I said to start this morning's podcast, going out and handling your fucking business. You went out and did it. I don't care if it was ugly. I don't care. My heart cares and my blood pressure cares, but
as long as I'm happy.
Here, as long as we walk away with the win, that's all I care about. That's all I care about, and that's what we did. It feels so good to be on top, man, because we have not been in a long time, and it feels good, But shout out to you guys for coming on after this game and coming and talking about it and bringing the energy. I still have adrenaline pumping all the way through me. Like I'm still shaking. I'm still, now I've got to go, gotta go get more football down, man. And that football's a hell of a drug, so we're gonna go get more of that. But shout out to everybody that came on and watched us after the Falcon game, to come get your Falcon news. Man, it feels good. This is gonna carry us through the week. This is gonna carry us into the Cowboy game, which I can't wait for. Man, I'm excited. So shout out to the Birds, shout out to y'all, shout out to everybody that came in and watched, commented, did all that stuff, man. But this is your boy Kirko Chain saying, walk into your trap, take over your trap.
I like that.
You like that? You like that?
Baby.
Yeah. God, is Kirko Chains on the podcast right now, bro? Like, God dang. Phillip, shout outs for tonight, brother.
Man, I'm blessed to be here, man. So shout out to God, man. That's always number one, man. That's always. Shout out to him for letting me live through these moments to get to witness these crazy moments. These crazy games like this, man. I love the adrenaline, but sometimes I don't like the way they end sometimes. But the adrenaline is when it goes in your favor, it is so nice. I just feel so good right now. It makes me feel like I do drugs and I don't. Man, it just feels amazing. Shout out to the team, man. We're 4-0 in the division right now. We took back our whole entire. We take everything back, baby. Shout out to the edit that I made here, man. Acknowledge us, man. Acknowledge us and rise up.
Sitting at home.
Yeah.
Acknowledge me.
Yeah. 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 Acknowledge me, baby. Acknowledge.
Hey, man, y'all head over to the TikTok, head over to the Facebook, head over to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We're going to post that. Hit that like button for us. Jalen Jones says, I'm telling y'all, this is our year.
I'm feeling it, man. Something just feels good about this year. Seeing this comment, I don't know what it is either. It's just something. This season just feels great to me, man. I can't explain it.
Yes, it does. Mr. Robert, glad to have you here for the Falcons versus Buccaneers recap. Your Atlanta Falcons sitting at 5-3, brother. Shout outs for this afternoon.
Shout out to the Falcons for, like Cody said, going in there and handling their business.
Took over that
huge
trap.
Win. Yes, took over the trap. Huge win. Good team effort. Still some things to improve on, but we got the win. That's all that counts. Shout out to you guys for having me on here. Appreciate it as always. Shout out to our viewers for making this possible, and special shout outs to Brianna, Peyton, Zach, and Christy. Much love to y'all. Rise up.
Shout out to DSGB Hall in the chat, man, with the emojis. EQRC, Jalen Jones, Dylan here in the chat, Millie Mills in the chat, D. Sloan, the Sports Nuts, all these people here in the chat after the dub, Victor Perez. I could continue going on and on and on, man. Shout out to you guys for being here in the comment section. Excuse me. After the Atlanta Falcons just got the great dub here.
Shout out to CFU if you ain't check us out.
Man, that is a fraud. Okay?
Oh,
I got a fraud.
I hate him.
We're just gonna tie his ass up. We'll just tie him up and leave him in the corner behind, right there behind you.
I knew he was fixing to say something, but I knew he was fixing to say that, bro. I don't know why.
Falcon fans, hit that like button, man. Leave a comment. He's just an ex-Gators fan. He's an ex-Gators fan.
He is the biggest troll on this earth.
The C stands for cuck, right?
Shout out to the little brother, man. Falcon fans, appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Appreciate the Atlanta Falcons for giving us something to talk about here on the podcast. As always, man, rise up to my co-host here. We'll have another show coming at you sometime this week. Gonna try to get Todd McClure on this week. He could not do it Friday because of the radio show he does. So we're gonna try Tuesday or Wednesday this week for the Falcons versus
Tuesday.
Cowboys.
All day Tuesday. I'm off. I'm off Tuesday. I'm free that whole entire day. Let me know.
Falcon fans, hit that like button, man. We up out of here. A-Town down, rise up. Your NFC South division leaders. Your Atlanta Falcons. We out of here.